All right, GolfWRX. This is the second video podcast for the Gear Dive. I'm here with a well, look at the screen. Look at that boy right there. I'm here with the Wedge Wizard.
Yo, dude, what's good?
Jacob Sanborn.
My spot.
So we're gonna get a tour of the Wizard's warehouse here today. This is one I've been excited. I've been buddies for a while. So Sanborn, talk to me.
First of all, let me take you off of this really complicated thing. Bro, how have you been?
I'm good.
I'm so good. I'm stoked to connect with you. Welcome to my crib, dude. This is where all the magic happens.
The ever-expanding crib.
Huh?
The ever-expanding crib. Every single time I talk to you, your name gets bigger and bigger. I love it.
Thanks, bro. You know, it's kind of like I'm strapped to a rocket ship. I'm kind of just doing what I love and trying to make people happy, make cool golf clubs, and the rest is just destiny, I guess. So,
well, let's start.
I'm pretty stoked.
Let's start there then. For the people that, obviously a lot of people know who you are, but for the people that don't, who are you? Where'd you come from? How'd you get started? Why are you here? Why are you talking to a schmuck like me?
I could ask you the same thing, I guess, about me. So my name's Jacob Sanborn. I'm born and raised in Oceanside. I started working in golf when I was 18. I'm 26 now, almost 27. And this is my shop. I run an aftermarket customization club, wedge company out of the garage here. I started working for a club manufacturer in 2015 and decided to leave. Actually, beginning of 2016, I started working there, and then I decided to leave just over a year ago today.
Yeah, when I met you, you were just kind of
getting ready to go.
Dip your toes going on your own. Yeah, that's crazy how time flies, right?
It's unbelievable. I was just, I was talking to someone this morning. I was telling him, the first 3 months kind of felt pretty normal, pretty normal. Everything was kind of really exciting and new. And then, the most recent, 7 to 10 months have just been so hectic because I've got a pretty solid vision for what I want to do. And I feel like, I've had a year underneath my belt. So now it's time to kick on the extra burners and really start to get some momentum going. So.
Well, I think it's I always, whenever I talk to creators or if I talk to grinders or club builder, or anybody in the club business that does something special, it's kind of the whole, I don't even remember what movie it's from, but it's be careful what you get good at, right? Because, you might take your life in a completely different direction. And the first time I met you, you were just, I don't say you're a kid, you're a young guy, but at the same time, it was kind of I just love working with golf clubs and wherever that takes me, it takes me. And now you're the Wedge Wizard within 7 to 10 months, which, for content creators or just creatives in general in the golf space, everybody's kind of blown up over the last year, right?
Dude, it's absolutely insane. Instagram has provided, it served as a platform for people to go get theirs,
right.
Whatever theirs might be. This whole thing kind of started so organically. I was working at a manufacturer building golf clubs, and my girlfriend, total non-golfer, she's like, dude, these things are cool looking. You should post some pictures of them and, let me help you out with the social media. So I kind of asked my boss, can I post some pictures of what it is I'm doing back there? And he's like, yeah, sure, I don't care. I don't think anybody really knew that it was.
He just hooked you up.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really knew it was going to turn into what it was going to turn into. And then, fast forward, probably since that point now for 2.5 years, almost 3 years since that point. And it's been a crazy experience. A wise man once told me if I try to learn something new about my craft every day, then I'm going to be on my way. So I try to come out here, learn something new every day, push myself, and make some badass wedges.
Okay, so what everybody wants to see now, everybody follows you. Got a bajillion followers on Instagram. I guess the golf space. It's funny how Instagram's kind of blown up in the golf space. Where none of us are Kardashians, but at the same time, having 30 or 40,000 on Instagram in the golf space, like having 50 million if you're an actor. So
Dude, big time. Yeah, golf is it's big, but it's not that big. You know, everybody seems to know everybody who's involved in the industry. So it's like once you start shaking some hands and you meet everybody, and then it's like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
awesome. How are we gonna grow it? You know, but I think that's one of the really that's one of the things I kind of hold highly on my social media is I'm trying to attract the non-golfer. I'm trying to bring in somebody who's from the outside of golf to pick up a golf club because it looks cool and it's different and it's something that somebody hasn't tried to do, you know, to that level in the industry. And I feel like that's the way I'm going to grow the game, you know. But
Well,
anyways, yeah, I have like not a gajillion followers on Instagram, but it is pretty crazy.
you have
There's
enough.
like
You have enough.
22,100 and something people out there want to see what your boy has to offer. It's pretty wild, man. It's so humbling. It's crazy.
I'm one of the 22,000. I follow your stuff all the time. So
I love you.
So
Cool.
let's look
All
at
right,
the
so
top. Let's see where you're at.
okay, so I guess I'll bring you out here. Hold on. I'm gonna bring you. So yeah, this is my garage, right? So it's actually in my garage. This is just bare bones, real raw stuff. This is the driveway. You see that? That's not in this garage.
Yep.
So here we go. This is basically my space. So I make it work. It's half of a 2-car garage. All right, come out here. Here you go. I'll get you the full perspective. This is what everybody really wants to see, I guess. You know, when people come up, then so you get the full perspective. Half a 2-car garage. I've got some memorabilia and stuff hanging up here on the wall. Right. I've got little promo event that I did. Like I did a live art thing at Link Soul, which was pretty dope. Dude, what round is that on the back there behind on your TV? That looks pretty epic.
That's Freddie Masters 92.
Dude. Hell yeah. All right. So this is I kind of got my stamps here. So I mean everybody's kind of wondering what's good with the stamps. I just use regular, you know, these are run-of-the-mill C.H. Hansen stamps, and you know, they get it done. So I've got all my fun stuff in here. Let's see. You know, I got of course, I guess you probably want to see that one, huh?
Yeah, that's the yeah.
That's the one there.
That's the one.
Yeah, so here we go. So I just recently kind of updated this space. There used to be kind of a really shitty cabinet hanging up there with without a door front on it. It looked terrible. So I took it down and kind of hung up some shafts. So I've got my, you know what I mean? I got my Wedge Wizard shaft in there from True Temper. That's dope. I got some bounce numbers here. So when JP came over to the garage, we did some grinding together, and you know, he kind of really helped me get comfortable underneath the wheel, and it was something I didn't have at that other manufacturer. So we kind of talked about bounce beliefs, right? Measurable versus effective, how much of a difference that actually is, what people actually need to be concerned about. So I got these little notes written up there, and you can see them, you know, from my grinder. So I got it right there in vision. But this is the famous blackboard. Everybody's kind of stoked on this thing. Depth to stock wedges, you know. Come on. This is actually, so here's a funny story. One night I wrote that on the blackboard. That is actually the print that's on the t-shirt and on the back of my shoe. It's literally, I just took a picture of it on my phone, put it on Adobe Illustrator.
That looks like the same font they use for the Death Note, that movie, based on the
I can't say I've ever seen it.
Yeah, looks similar to it anyway.
I wish it was a faster.
Let me ask you a question really quick.
Yeah.
So at some point, you're going to outgrow that space, right? I mean, that's the plan, right? I mean,
yeah.
But what after I've talked to a bunch of you guys, there's nothing like that first space, right? It'll never feel like it does right now when you're making wedges, you know, when it's tight in your garage and, you know, everything's right here in front of you. And then all of a sudden you get in the nice modern digs with a, you know, big, you know, 2 or 3 grinders and, you know, bunch of square footage to roam around. And I don't think it'll ever feel as Wedge Wizard as it probably will right now, which is kind of, to me, which is kind of the cool thing about where you're at right now. Is it's like,
I beg to differ, bro. Beg to differ. I promise you that wherever Wedge Wizard's at, it will always feel like Wedge Wizard, bro. Because It's not necessarily about it being the garage. The garage is where it needed to start. It needed to start here to teach me a lot of things. You know, JP uses this term garage shop mentality. I kind of took that one on. I used to have a really bad habit of making up excuses as to why I couldn't get something to work or why I wouldn't try something, right? I always needed something else, whatever it might be, a tool or a fucking, excuse my language, or something.
Right.
But really, that's not the case. You just got to try to do what you can with what you have, where you're at. And so this taught me a lot. I mean, if you'd asked me if I'd been able to put out the work I've been able to put out this first year inside of this garage, right, without any additional equipment or, temperature control, you know what I mean? There's no temperature control in here. I've got no insulation in the walls. Our May and June was so humid that my head's actually rusted just sitting on my workbench. So like that became a really large issue, right? But I just had to learn to roll with the punches. So it's for little things like that. I'm really excited to have a space and excited to have a clean, controlled, well lit, nice, bright, cool space. But it'll always feel like Wedge Wizard, I promise. Whether it be the vibe that's instilled there, or it be the people there, or the style that's there, it'll always feel a little bit garagey, I promise.
Which is, and that was my attempt at being poetic, Jake, and you just took a big shit on my poem, my life poem. But I think like the other cool thing I wanted to mention is like, you just kind of took the words out of my mouth is, you created this in that space, right, in your garage. So for the kids at home or people that want to get into the golf business or want to get into the creative stuff, like, you want to do it, you'll do it. Like if you want to do it, you could make it out of the the back of a trunk if you needed to.
You can do it, and I'm proud to say I've gotten a really it's doable. It's not been easy.
No,
I won't bullshit you. I won't bullshit you and tell you it's been easy, but it's been an experience that I would not trade back for the comfort and the security of having a paycheck, right? And maybe even doing something in the workplace that I love, like building golf clubs. I could have been perfectly okay with that. It's such a niche thing. But to give that up and to try to strive for greater things and to try to push myself farther, I think that's worth that's worth no amount of money to me, because then when it works out. Even if it doesn't, even if you fail, you can always go get another bullshit job. That's what Gary Vee says.
Right. It's funny. What's funny? So I talked to Ian Fraser from TXG. Him and I are really close, and
mm-hmm.
we talk about Gary Vee all the time. Like this. And he's got, so much content out there and so many little V phrases that he has, but ultimately it's kind of like there's no excuses for anything. It's like,
no, you're accountable. Yeah.
Figure out what you love to do and go do it. Keep your mouth shut.
Exactly. And don't try to, and that's the other thing I really value and I see in him is like, he doesn't try to be things that he's not, is he just realizes that there's other people out there, bro, that are better than you at things. And mm-hmm. that's okay. Bring them on your team and you'll have one ill-ass team, right? Versus you trying to just be good at everything and trying to maximize, what it is that you're doing, you're going to spread yourself too thin. So that's where I'm at. Ready to get help.
You're sort of experiencing that in a cool way in the golf business, because the golf business, in my opinion, has always been very isolating. Meaning, like, if you're with a company, there's not a lot of cross collaboration going on. So there was not a market for a guy like Wedge Wizard or Malbin Golf or any of these guys to cross collaborate, like, creators getting, collaborations with Nike, or Wedge Wizard doing something with Titleist or True Temper. Now is sort of the time for the artists to have a platform. And I think Instagram drives a lot of that. So talk to me a little bit about just the last, I don't want you to go through your whole life story, the last 7 or 10 months of your life, but like, where do you think, when was that moment where you're like, oh, this could get kind of like way past where I thought it was going to be? Because it happened fast, but there usually is a moment like, oh my God, like this is insane.
Yeah. I don't know if it was really like I would say my first moment, like, wow, this is going to be something that is way bigger than I thought it was going to be, or it's got potential to be something I do for the rest of my life, and that's a lot. I'm only 26, right? That's a long ass time. So and that was, I would say, when I did my first release, on my website, and I put product up there for people to go and buy. It was my first time really kind of putting something out ahead of someone ordering it. And I was really kind of nervous, obviously, the natural, insecurities over being accepted or whatever, or if the stuff is going to be cool. Is it going to sell? Are people going to talk shit on the price? Or, all those things I was worried about. The reaction was unbelievable. It sold, everything eventually sold out, and it really took not that much time for it to sell out, relative to how much was on there. And, that was just like a huge eye-opening experience. I was like, wow, this is possible. Like, this is real. Like, I can, if I hold these customers close to me and I facilitate their needs, I meet their expectations, and I make them feel like they're getting a special experience, then I can provide them with a product that's already tour proven, already tour tested, already successful, like all those other ones out there, Titleist, Callaway, TaylorMade, whatever. I can take those products, make them cool, make all these people, feel like they're getting something that's different that you can't go anywhere else and get. Then that's, I realized it started working. People kept inquiring, and people are still continuing to inquire, which is awesome. So, I mean, the website has developed since then to be more streamlined, where people can send in their stuff just off of the website, which is nice. But there's a lot of things that I had to think about because of the fast growth, because I had to kind of shift my mindset, from short-term thinking to long-term thinking. When after that first release, and I realized, whoa, this could be something that is something I do for the rest of my life. I wanted to be more long-term thinking, more like, how can I carefully lay these stones in the very beginning so that later on in life I can have multiple facets of this company, right, running, and employ multiple people, provide for multiple people. Those were the types of thoughts that I've had in the last several months. So it's been fun being able to think that far down the line while also being able to maximize what's in front of me. I'm excited for the future, and I'm beyond grateful and thankful for everybody who has continued, or who has supported me and continue to support me by buying stuff on the website or putting in custom orders. It's what obviously keeps me going.
Who's of all the people you've made wedges for, who's the one name that came through your inbox? You're like, what? Like, famous person. Some of you are just like, what the hell?
Eric Ebron, to be honest with you, the NFL player. Like, yeah, because, you want to talk about Instagram and its place. There's a golf account on the Instagram called Golf Heads, and he reposts like cool looking golf clubs, and he does like what's in the bags for like regular people on Instagram. So people follow him, and he posted a set of these fast food series puns I did on a set of wedges, and Eric ended up stumbling upon it on his feed, and then connects to me and asks me, hey, what do I got to do to get some wedges? And it was just like such a like organic thing, for me to be thinking like I'm building clubs for NFL players, and I'm building clubs for John Buscemi, who's obviously a decorated, apparel designer, apparel and accessory designer, somebody who's a legend. That's pretty cool. I've got some really fun projects too in the tank that are pretty big. G4 was a big collaboration for me, where I was like, whoa, this is cool. This is a company I've always wanted to rock, and they want me to do some cool custom wedges for them. So, hey, there you go.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about this on the phone, and I want to see some wedges here in a second. But the last question I'm going to ask is, and you said this is actually really, really interesting, but there's a huge difference between doing a project with, we'll call it your general golfer. You're somebody that just wants to have something cool in the bag, and then working with a really good player. Because, like, if you're going to take Jeff Halverson, for example, like,
dude, that was such a,
huh?
That was such a, go on, sorry, continue.
That's a really discerning palate, right? The guy knows exactly what the hell he wants, and he's willing to pay for it. So it's like, that's different than, if my old man called you and said, hey, can you make something cool for me? It's like, you're not as concerned with,
very much. That was that project was obviously, out of all the stuff I did all year long, that one was, I hung my had the highest on that one, you know, just because to shape something from like a raw blank, so that people who are listening maybe don't know, it comes like 15, 20 grams overweight, comes with maybe plus 7 to 10 degrees of bounce measurable, and edges so sharp you could cut paper with
Right.
them. So for you to be able to shape and they all look the same, right? So they all have that same bubbly, just like way too much space past the groove lines. So to make a set transition from a gap wedge to a sand wedge to a lob wedge was a challenge that I was ready to accept, because that's something that takes time to learn how to do. A gap wedge is smaller than a lob wedge, you know. So, but to get them to flow right in head weights, and to get them to flow right in the kind of grinds that he was going for, the toe shape, the top line shape, all of that stuff was stuff that I want to have those types of standards. I wish everybody came to me with the list of standards that Jeff Halverson did. And Jeff Halverson didn't even come to me with these crazy, like, this is, you know, so spec oriented. He came to me with a few simple pictures. This is the wedge I like. This is my all-time favorite profile. These are the shots I like to hit. He sent me some fitting data from his fitting, his most recent one. And I basically was like, okay, cool. I did some hand renderings, basically asked him about some different wedges that have been available in the past. Do you like this grind? Do you like that grind? Cool. And then I just decided to go for it. And I've heard from him this week. I knocked it out of the park. He says that he's absolutely in love with them, and that, you know, that I made him a set of tools, and that means a lot to me, you know, because I was able to flex my aesthetic ability and the artsiness, and also pile that on to a lot of tech behind that set of wedges, and a lot of you know, a lot of numbers behind that set of wedges too, that's not seen to the eye. So
Right. And that, yeah, I mean, and especially at, you know, at this point in the game where, you know, you're obviously an artist, right? But to be able to go in there and go from point A to Z and actually be a grinder and a craftsman and get in there and make a good player's golf club, that's a big deal, because it's not easy. Like,
no,
it's
it's
easy. I can't do it. I wouldn't even try.
it's, you know, it's I've had some experience working with tour players before, and being able to or having to take a finished good and convert it and modify it into something more towards them. And I'll be honest with you, that is harder than taking an unfinished good that's hot off of the assembly line, like those blanks that he sent me. Those are easier to work with than working with a finished good. Finished good is like, you got zero room to mess up. You got this much weight you're allowed to pull off of it before it becomes a paperweight, right? And then, you know, you can't touch the lead edge, because if you bump into it, then, you know, what are you going to do? So I won't get into the crazy stuff, but working with those wedges was a real big learning experience. Huge feather in my cap. I'm excited to do more projects like that in the future. And it's an honor to have wedges inside of Jeff Halverson's bag, because, as you said, he's kind of like the connoisseur of all connoisseurs of golf clubs, dude.
Yeah, he's a degenerate junkie.
Dude, he has all the coolest shit. Like, he has all the coolest stuff.
We'll put it this way. I've done 2 of these shows so far, and he's done projects with both people. So he's done projects with Logan Olson. He's done projects with you. And if I get Taylor and those guys on the next one, then that'd be 3 for 3 for that's the Halverson, the Grand Slam.
That's so funny, dude. That's perfect.
Yeah.
He's a legend. He's a legend.
Yeah. Let's look at some goods, dude. I want to see some clubs. What do you got?
Yeah. So, I'm going to show you guys. I can show you. Here we go. Hold on. Let me flip you around here. All right. So I got this set that I'm working on here. This is from my most recent release. So I'll show you this rendering first. So it's kind of got a two-tone drip, right? It's rusted and high-polished chrome. I think what I'm going to end up doing is actually flip-flopping this. I think I'm going to make the rust drip and then do this high-polished. I can't really make up my mind yet. I know that it was the way that it was for a reason, but, you know, I sometimes decide to make a change in the middle of it. You know, these are some aftermarket grinds I did. So like, this was a 6008. So it's got a nice little C grind on it. I believe in a lot of like camber, right? So I try to, if I do modify existing wedges, I try and take this little block off of the heel that a lot of people to put on there. It's like almost like near flat spot, right? Yep. But if you can kind of back that out in a way and make it, you know, less grabby in this area.
Sure.
And then obviously, if you think about it from this standpoint, right, this is my center point. This is where I want to impact. So why would I want to make it, you know, Why would I want there to be more flat surface area past this point of my finger? Like, why would I want it to be flat from like here to here, right? If I'm only bottoming out here,
Right.
I want this to be rounded like from here on out, right? I want this to be the apex of the sole. So
Right.
that's kind of my theory with grinds. That's kind of my theory with wedges. So everything that I touch that has an aftermarket grind on it is got that kind of built into it. So it's very much JP has a similar theory. He talks about multi-directional cambered soles, and he kind of mills them around. So similar kind of a deal. Let's go down here. Let's see. These are cool. This is also from the release. These are going to be, so these all have oil on them, dude. Sorry, I don't know if you can see it or not.
No, I can't. Wow.
Cool. So like these have some fun little stamps on them, like tons of different stuff. Just have fun is what it was originally supposed to say, but I agreed with him. We did a little audible. This one says have fun. The other one it says in the middle of the set, the 56, it says throw darts, and this one says break hearts. So we got have fun, throw darts, and break hearts is the audible I decided to make, but I'm pretty stoked on it.
That's a client through Instagram or a custom order?
That was a so yeah, these were sold on my release as well. So this is essentially what they're slated to look like. They're going to be rusted, kind of pre-rusted raw. And then let me show you these ones up here. So these ones I'm building and shipping out this week for a customer, but these were sent to me from the customer. Let me get a bolt here.
Oh wow.
So
Ohio.
So we got some stippling in here, right? Which is like essentially the form of art by like using a series of dots to make up an object or make.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Is that guy's first name Zach?
Zach? Yes, it is.
Is it Zach Heusser?
What?
Is it Zach Heusser?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope. It's no, it's not that.
Okay. No.
But so yeah, we did some. So the difference between my stuff and some of the OEM stuff is like I can use different sets of letters in the same combo, right? We can do 1/8 inch and 3/32 and 1/16 of an inch. This has 3/32 and 1/16 of an inch. That's what
That's
this
beautiful,
is.
Man.
And then I did some loft stamping out on the toe. This tends to really add a lot of steez to the bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you see the toe stamp out there. So this was the O, and then he has a matching 52 degree as well. That's not O. It's from his alma mater. He told me that he's just a fan of Ohio, but this is his alma mater. He's
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty, man.
So these are cool. And then speaking of the devil, Ebron, his are right here. These have turned out cool.
Ooh.
So like, this is his logo. So, dude, tell me how sick is that? Like,
is that a Decepticon logo?
Doesn't it look like it? It looks so scary. It looks so gnarly. No. It's an EE for Eric Ebron. And then like this little diamond part right here up in the top in between the E's was also supposed to have an outline of silver on it, but I decided to go ahead and throw that out because it was just, I wasn't going to see enough blue. So
that's beautiful.
This one turned out cool. So we did this one's cool. We did an Iron Man theme on a 60 degree.
Okay.
And I did the two eyes. I made the two eyes. Yeah. So I stippled the two eyes in there, right? And then did the Iron Man, the gold and the red.
Yeah.
Did the teal for the, the eyes. So,
that's awesome.
Dude, honestly, I have probably like a good, like today, tomorrow, and Friday. Like I've got a solid amount of work that is slated to exit my door. So I'm bummed I don't have really as much stuff done as I would have loved to for this conversation, but I can tell you a place that you can go and see the work when it's done.
Instagram,
it's Wedge_Wizard.
What's in your bag right now?
What's in my bag? Well, I might as well get it. Hold on. All right, let's see here. All right, what do we got? We got.
I heard a little rumor you got all covered out.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, kind of. It's so. Let me tell you one thing really quick. What I will say is that I'm not going to promote any company anytime for anything other than the fact of it being good and good enough for me to play. So the cool thing about Cobra is they're really forward thinkers over there. They have done a great job at adapting to the modern golfers and the social media thing. So they reached out to me and they're like, hey, can we send you some clubs? I'm like, yeah, but there's no guarantees that I'll use them. But I like them. I love them. They work great. So I bag them. And the driver is also the nastiest, longest, coolest driver I've ever hit in my life.
They're good people too, so that makes it.
Yeah, they are. So this is the newest addition in my bag, dude.
That's hot.
This little guy.
Okay.
All right. And then I got my, I'm rocking Cobra Mim wedges. Let's see here.
Wow.
Let me get this thing turned around here. Let's use some better light. So yeah, there we go. So these are my Mims. All right. Have you hit the Mim yet?
Not yet. I got kids, man. I barely got enough time to hit.
It's really soft. It's really soft. It's nice.
That's dope.
This one's fine. This one's so gnarly. It looks like it's just dripping over the king.
Yep.
So, and then I'm playing 3-wood, 5-wood, F9 plus, driver, F9, and I'm playing handcrafted black or white. Is it handcrafted white or is it handcrafted black? Wait, what is this? No, this is even flow. Even flow white, I think is what it is.
And then what irons?
Thing spits just dirty low spinners.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. And it feels good, which is nice. Usually it's one or the other.
Are you got Cobra irons too?
Yeah, so I'm playing a combo set CBMB. I go 7 iron. I go to the MB in the 7, and then I go 6.54 in the CB.
It's a good setup.
They look pretty stock for now, but I have a lot of work I should be doing instead of my own, so I'm okay with it.
Well, my friend, that's a good tour of your shop. So
yeah, I mean, this is I guess one of the only other things I guess you really kind of need to see if you haven't seen it already is this bad boy, the central bench. So this is where the magic really kind of happens from, I guess you could say. This is where I have everybody too that comes. I have them sign it. All right, so like if you make it, hold on, let me get this thing situated here. So basically, if you can make it here, then I'll let you sign it, right? And the cool thing has been that I've gotten some people from international. I've gotten some of my old friends, you know what I mean, from back in the day. Hold on, Johnny. I'm trying to get you situated here so that you can see this. Here we go. Here's some cool ones. So we got Man Bear.
Yeah.
Right, Matt Cardis. Naomi Blank. We got Charlie Zamora.
Joe Kwok. Is that Joe Kwok over there?
No, this is Jason Locke. But I do know Joe Kwok, and he is a living legend.
Yes, he is.
I've been to his shop, but he has never been here. This is JP's signature.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty cool one to have on there. A lot of street cred. See, I got some of my friends down here. Got some big, here's one that you might know. I know that one.
Yep.
Yeah, Halby.
Yeah.
And we got Hey Hawk and Brian Powell's are a couple of Scotty's boys. So, hold on. Where'd you go? There you are. Cool. So, dude, you're more than welcome to come by here. I know there's, Kayla and I, we've been taking some trips to Florida, or not to Florida, but to Texas. And, we've been loving it out there. But for the time period, for the most immediate time period, we're going to be here. So I think you should come out here.
One of these days, I need to get the Wonder Wedge Wizard custom job done. I still haven't. That's been a year in the making. I still haven't done it. At some point, I will.
We need to find out something to do with this whole wedge and wonder, or wonder and wedge idea, because that sounds just like golden, dude.
That could be. It could be nasty, or it could be a huge mistake. I don't know, but we'll find out soon enough.
I like it. I think it's gonna be funny.
But hey, dude, like, I mean, this is gonna sound really weird. I'm really proud of you, dude. I don't want to say you've come a long way because you're always hungry, but like meeting you a year and a half ago or a year ago, whenever I met you for the first time, and to see you now and to see you haven't really changed. You're busier. Like and you're having a blast, dude. And I saw you at Brian LaRoche's tournament. Like you're having a blast. And I love watching people have fun. So
yeah, I'm living a dream, and thank you so much for the opportunity, and I appreciate your time. I value your time, and that means a lot. I'm just gonna keep my head down and get better, like I said, at the craft, and show people that, hey, man, it's okay to joke around, have a good time.
Oh yeah.
Don't try to take it too serious.
Okay, give me the final plug. Where does everybody find your website and Instagram? Give it to me one more time.
www.wedgewizard.com. Pretty simple there. You can go on to my Instagram. It's at @wedge_wizard. I'm on Facebook as Wedge Wizard. I'm on Twitter actually now. I reactivated my Twitter account. I'm on there too, so I don't know if that's your thing. But it's the Wedge Wizard, I think, is what it is, or something like that, or Wedge Wizard. If you search Wedge Wizard, you'll see it. So,
well,
definitely.
Jacob Sanborn, everybody.
Hey,
it's the Wedge Wizard,
dude. Thank you so much for coming to my shop. Until next time, bro.
Until next time, we'll see you soon. See ya.